Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to use some of the methods in the math class. So let's get started. Now, our first method is going to be math.random. So if you want to generate a number between 0 and 10, we're going to use math.random. So let's do math.random. And then over here, we need to put in times 11. So this will generate a number from 0 to 10. Now, this will generate decimal numbers. So if you want integer numbers, we need to cast it. So we need to put in parentheses and then int. Also, we need to put in parentheses around math.random. So let's do that. Okay. Now I'm going to show you it by printing it out. So let's create a new integer and print that out. Int num. What's that? Okay, now let's print it out. So ut tab. Let's put in num. Now hit run over here. As you can see, we have a random number between 0 and 10. We have 2, and if you run it again, you get a different number. So you get 3, and you can keep running it, and then you'll get a different number each time. This time we got 1, and we got 8 this time. Okay. Now let's say if you wanted to generate a number between 5 and 10, we would put in times 6 plus 5. Okay, the plus 5 is there because it adds 5 to both numbers. So instead of being a 1 to 10, it'll make it from 5 to 15. Okay, now instead of having times 11, we have times 6 because it has 5 to 15. Now, if we want to decrease that 15 down to a 10, we need to decrease this number here by 5. Okay, now let's run our project. Now, as you can see here, we have 5. Now, if we hit run again, we have 8 and 10. Now, as you can see, it isn't going below 5 because our parameters are set to this. So our next method is going to be math.PI. And what this does is that it allows you to take the power of any number. So for an example, let's do math.PI. And then we need to put in 2 numbers. So how I like to remember is that we do, for an example, 2 to the power of 10. Okay, so we have 2. And then above it, we have 10. So let's cast this again. Let's put parentheses about around this. And let's hit run. As you can see, we got 1024 as our answer. And if you run this in the calculator, 2 to the power of 10, you'll get 1024. Okay. Now for our next method is going to be math.min. So this will let you compare 2 numbers and it will find the minimum of those 2 numbers. So for example, if you put in 5 and 6 and we hit run, it will print out 5 because 5 is less than 6. Similarly, we can use math.max and it will find the bigger of the 2 numbers. So here if we run it, it prints out 6 because 6 is bigger than 5. Okay. Now for our next method, it's going to be math.square root. Okay. Now this allows you to take the square root of any number. So let's put in 25. Right. And let's cast this. Right. Now if we hit run, the answer should be 5, and as you can see, it is 5. Now if you put in 100 for an example, the answer should be 10. And we have 10 over here. Okay. Now, similarly again, we can use math.cuberoot. So we can do CBRT, and this will allow you to take the cube root of any number. So let's put in 27 as an example. Now, if we hit run, you get 3, because 3 times 3 is 9, and then 9 times 3 is 27. Taking the cube root. Okay. Our next method is going to be math.abs. Now this will allow you to take the absolute value of a number. So we put in negative 99, right, and we hit run. The answer will be 99 because that is the absolute value of negative 99. Now, if you put in a positive number like 99, the answer will also be positive because that is the absolute value of 99 over here. Okay. Now, our next one is going to be math.floor. Now, math.floor is similar to rounding, but instead of going up or down, it will go to the number that is closest to it, but one below it. So for an example, if I put in, say, 2.9, okay, and make sure you cast it as well so you don't get an error. And one more here. Now, the output will not be 3, it will be 2, because essentially what it's doing is that it's removing the decimal of it. Now hit run. As you can see, we have 2 over here. Okay, now we can put in, for example, 2.1, and we'll also get 2. As you can see, we just ran it and we got 2. Now, again, similarly, we can do math.seal. And if you do that, our answer is going to be 3 because it'll go up by 1. And it'll also remove the decimal here. Let's hit run. As you can see, our answer is 3. And we can put in any other number like, let's do 76.90. All right. Our output will be 77, as you can see right here. Okay. Now let's do another method. This time we'll do math.round. Okay, now this will round any number that you put in the parentheses. Let's put in 87.2. All right, make sure you cast it as well. Okay, we have 87.2. Now it will round it, so our answer will be 87, as you can see here. Now, if you put in, for an example, 87.8, our answer will be 88 because it's rounding the number. Okay. Now for our final two methods, they're not really methods, they're numbers. So we can do math.PI, and this will output pi. And also make sure you change this int into a double because pi is a decimal. Now when we hit run, we have 3.14, so on, as our output. Now again, we can do math.e, and when we hit run, it will output e here. Thank you for watching.